look at her now. Now she wants to jump on David Oyelowo because she don't have fucking nothing else to talk about. So she gonna jump on my podcast, which is a dope ass podcast. And by the way, David Oyelowo has apologized, but British black people do not have a perspective of American blacks.
Don't even get it.
Been through all the arguments with ex-boyfriend, Nigerian, the whole nine. So I understand.
Yeah, but I grew up. First of all, I grew up in Chicago.
We were a little surprised by your reaction.
I don't give a fuck what y'all were thinking.
Well, it seems our guy Godfrey has had a roller coaster ride of positions in the past few months. We went from supporting him on this channel for some of his takes on the 154 podcast to criticizing him for some of his later takes and everything in between. But this is a high watermark right here. Godfrey crashes out on a caller on his show when she confronts him about his disrespect of Karen Hunter, political commenter. I've disagreed with Karen Hunter myself in the past, but Godfrey used to work with her and he called her out of her name. And also his stance on the David Oyelowo incident, talking about the origins of the black Southern American accent. He even throws David Oyelowo under the bus.
You have to understand, you guys are probably still listening to Karen. All of us moved on. I wasn't talking about her. I didn't do none of that. And her whole thing about black unity, she's full of shit. She is full of shit.
That's her thing in the context of her thing.
Listen, but when
she's
full of shit.
But interpersonally, there's a reason why she has a problem with everybody else.
Well, she tricked me, and how I got fired was some bullshit because I personally think my show was doing really well. It was, and I know on the inside it was like you was doing really well. They had to find something to get you on, and I knew on some inside, which I ain't gonna mention that person. And I was like, cool, because I was kicking ass. Because the week before she fired me, I went to an advertising meeting at Madison Square Garden. It was all the people that were going to sponsor me, and they said, well, what's your show about? I came in that room and it was awesome. I had them rolling, laughing, and then she fires me the next week.
Now, I've heard this show on Sirius when it was on there, and Godfrey was good on the show. It's true. But the fact that you called her out her name, she's definitely taking umbrage to it, and she's using this opportunity to kind of get some traction on her channel or on her YouTube channel, and to also air her grievance against you. I don't understand why it makes you so mad, though. I don't understand why you're so turned up about it in this moment, that you would be rude to somebody that's calling in that's obviously a supporter of your channel.
But her saying that, look at her now. Now she wants to jump on David Oyelowo because she don't have fucking nothing else to talk about. So she gonna jump on my podcast, which is a dope ass podcast. And by the way, David Oyelowo has apologized, but British black people do not have a perspective of American blacks.
Don't even get it.
But the fact is that these mistakes need to happen so we can talk about it. So we can have people going, damn, I fucked up.
Yes, they definitely have to, but the person in their apology actually has to be sincere. And I would say from David's apology, he still kind of skirted around any fault on his own. He's like, he didn't intend that. But we're trying to tell him something totally different. And I think the pushback that Godfrey is facing, I don't think he understands, is that people are wondering why he didn't say something in the moment and why he didn't challenge David. That's simply it.
I think David probably didn't mean it that way, but the British black experience is so different than the black American experience. He probably was like, no, it's a little subservient. They don't know any better. A lot of them just don't know any better.
No,
they be trying to tell us
I think
though.
it's good that people can listen. Hold up.
It definitely sounded like some white people. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
It was whack. But I said I'm sorry, but it definitely sounded like some white people. But I get it.
But what I'm saying is, that's what. Where do you think they're colonized? It's colonial mentality. That's white people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
People were responding because we appreciate the fact that, although your heritage is Nigerian, listen, I've been through all the arguments with ex-boyfriend, Nigerian, the whole nine. So I understand.
Yeah, but I grew up. First of all, I grew up in Chicago.
We were a little surprised by your reaction.
I don't give a f what y'all were thinking because I didn't make him say that.
I didn't say it.
I didn't make him say that. So f all of that because you all sit there and try to pick at the smallest waiting for us to f up. First of all, me and Akbar grew up in Crenshaw. All right, I grew up in Chicago. Some of the blackest cities around. Chicago's the most segregated city in this country. So I know what black Americans are like because I was stopped by cops, harassed by cops, called nigga, the whole nine. Okay, so
Isn't that interesting how they always go to, I got stopped by cops, I got pulled over. That's the black experience. That's the black experience summed up. Now, I'm not saying that none of this didn't happen to Godfrey, but Godfrey, if some criticism is leveled at you, this is not the response to double down in anger, to start railing at the person on the phone who's simply telling you what's happening. It sounds like you were totally unaware. It's not until the David Oyelowo situation went viral that anybody even noticed that something was wrong in what was said on the podcast. So now, instead of being the teacher in this moment, Godfrey, because I know you're a veteran, and you're normally in a position of power. How about you stop and listen for a second? Listen. You don't have to push back on everything because for some reason you think you're right. That's ego. That's hubris. And he knows that. He definitely knows that.
A little bit different, but that show, what our show is, it's just 9-10 months. We're doing really well. It's needed. Nothing's gonna be perfect. So when someone goes, I didn't like your reaction, you're not my parent, first off. And I'm the first person, if I f up, I'll go, man, my bad. But David said it. So to villainize me is bullshit. That's black just trying to have something to.
What?
See, what we're doing is we're trying to work out our kinks. People are traumatized. Black Americans are traumatized. Caribbeans are traumatized. Africans are traumatized. Everybody's traumatized. Black women are traumatized. Black men are traumatized. So this is all coming from trauma. And this should be a therapeutic podcast. It should be a podcast where we go, hey, man, we fucked up. We got to talk about these things. But to just go, I'm disappointed. None of you motherfuckers are my parent. None of you. Nobody's perfect talking shit to me.
So somebody has to be your parent in order to level any type of criticism for the situation. And the problematic part of the 154 podcast that nobody wants to say, this is supposed to be a therapeutic podcast, according to Godfrey. The one problem is you left out Black Americans from the diaspora, but yet every episode you talk about Black Americans. Every clip that goes viral about this podcast is about Black Americans. But Black Americans are not included in this show. I can't name one Black American guest, foundational Black American guest, that has been added to this show. And there's been a constant criticism going on here. It's like, can you take the message? Are you willing to take the message? Are you willing to listen? Or who cares? I mean, hey, if you're not, let it be known then. Because you know what I'm saying? There's people that are out here still trying to defend you. But if you think you know it all and you know, Mr. Black History, then nobody can get in there to say anything contrary to what you're saying. And trust me, he's going to talk about it later. He's going to talk about his bona fides and what gives him the right to be talking about Black history. But there are plenty of Black people that are well informed on Black history. You're not the only one.
You do a podcast and do better then. But my thing is I'm doing this for the good of all of us to bridge a gap and all this, you're a tether, you're a this, you can eat a dick. I'm just not talking to you, miss. I'm just saying in the general.
See?
But eat a dick for real. I'm a tether, I'm a this, all these terms for a bunch of traumatized Black folk. It's like, first of all, I'm a very well-read man when it comes to Black life, very well-read. I've done mounds of going to see the minister, a Savior's Day, all kinds of shit.
He always throws that out there.
Carmichael. I met Francis Cress Welsing. I met all these people. Did you? I can question a lot of people on that.
I've spoken to Francis Cress Welsing. Absolutely. Now, did I meet Stokely Carmichael? No. You're a little bit older than a lot of people out here, too, though. That's the other thing you're not really giving people credit for.
I was in college at the same time. Let me just say real quick.
You know what I mean? If we're going to do a measure on Blackness, I'll probably stomp most of you.
And see, that's the problem. You're trying to measure your blackness. Why are you still trying to measure blackness? That's insecurity, unfortunately. That means that you are not secure in your blackness. And so you've, in probably a positive way, went out to seek knowledge about blackness. But unfortunately, what it comes across as a lot of time is performance. It comes across as performing foundational Black American or performing to be an ally when we don't necessarily know what your intentions truly are. I've met Godfrey, you know what I'm saying? We used to go to commercial auditions. I used to see him at commercial auditions, but I don't know Godfrey. And I think that's what a lot of people are saying out here. That's why a lot of heat is being leveled at you. Now, this ain't no serious thing that you're being canceled because you didn't call David Oyelowo out. But as the person in the room that you said you have all this knowledge, the Francis Cress Welsing, hanging out with Farrakhan and Stokely Carmichael, reading all those books, you still didn't have the awareness to teach David in that moment. You're simply just throwing him under the bus and saying, yeah, he's British, he didn't know better. Really? He's a grown man. And he's been in America for the last 20 years, just about. It's not your responsibility, but I would say if you were a friend of his or an associate of his, it would be nice. Godfrey later says he actually spoke to David after.
First of all, I'm a very well-read man when it comes to Black life. Very well-read. I've done mounds of going to see the minister, a Savior's Day, all kinds of shit. I met Stokely Carmichael. I met Francis Cress Welsing. I met all these people. Did you? I can question a lot of people on that.
Listen,
I'm blacker than you.
At the same time, let me just say real quick.
You know what I mean? If we're gonna do a measure on blackness, I'll probably stomp most of you. It's not sensitivity. It ain't sensitivity. Don't fucking ever say that to me. It's not sensitivity. It's passion because I'm on point. I'm not here to make you like. Don't try to play good guy. Like you're getting sensitive. No, this is passionate shit. And I'm real about it. When people go, oh, you shouldn't have done all of that.
I know, but what I'm trying to tell you is you keep switching off, Godfrey. I wasn't.
What'd you say?
She's not even. He's criticizing somebody that's not even against him, right? This chick is trying to be, she's a fan. She called into the show to tell him her thoughts. And this is how she's treated. That's what he doesn't understand. I'm like, you need to pump your brakes, man. You're being real disrespectful on that call for no reason at all.
You've always represented that.
Always, but then you get one little thing and you guys, as much as I speak up for Black women, what do you think that does to me in this business when I'm speaking up for you guys? I speak up for you motherfuckers all the time. Most celebrities in Hollywood don't say a goddamn thing about y'all. And I'm always opening my mouth for you guys. I try my best. But I do one thing, you guys just go off. All
right.
I forget he's a comedian.
Dante, can you just stop for a second? Can you speak to this? I really was just trying to say that I was just surprised, to be honest, throughout the whole interview. I felt like, I was with you guys because I felt like you was low-key side-eyeing him. So I'm not saying I felt like...
Well,
first of all, I don't even remember when he said that.
You really weren't even paying attention.
I wasn't even paying attention. First of all, we were having such a... First of all, our interview was fantastic.
Yeah.
We were having fun.
Yeah.
They were like... I said, what did David say?
But I'm going to tell you something. I watched it, and I know, I could always tell when you not there.
Yes.
You was zoned the f*** out. You were holding the cards, and you were just reading off, and it went through.
I don't even remember
when he said, you bring a little...
But that was Godfrey's segment. That literally was Godfrey's segment, the one about doing voices, like at the end of the show. So what are we talking about? Like, how are you not present in there? I mean, honestly, it did. It probably looked like he was a little exhausted because he's flying back and forth to the West Coast to do the damn podcast. If that's the case, then say that. Say that you're exhausted. Say that you went crazy. You went too hard or whatever. But instead, he's going to double down on this righteous path. And it's like, all right. I would say if you have such a pristine record, it shouldn't be nothing for you to be like, man, that was my bad. I totally didn't even realize that. But no, you getting angry. You're getting pissed off at somebody who's actually trying to be an ally to you in the moment. And so much so that you got to drag her up on the call.
Servians and the East, but you got to understand something. We get this, I've gotten this from Haitian people. I've got this from Caribbean people. How about this? People talk, I'm FBA, and I get it from FBAs because I'm light-skinned. So what we're talking about is overall black trauma that exceeds on, and we're always ready.
You heard that Dante's FBA too, so Godfrey conveniently leaves out the part where there was a whole FBA conversation, and he said, I don't want to hit FBA, don't worry about them. He actually says that to David. Are you just going to brush over that? And literally you got somebody that's FBA in the room with you right there that literally said they're FBA? It's crazy. See, we just don't like to be written off. And I think a lot of times what happened is, just like in this situation, Godfrey is positioning himself above the normal black community, right? He's putting himself above. He's like, I studied this. I was at Savior's Day. I was with Francis Krause Wilson. You see what I'm saying? So I'm blacker than you. Measuring blackness is never going to work in this situation. If you are a true ally, and y'all need to stop with the narrative that FBA is some kind of cult or something. People, it is what it is. It is a lineage. People are choosing to go by it, and that is their right. End of discussion. End of discussion.
Like I said, it's like I said, with David, the fact that you all are going to hold on to that shit, first of all, David is getting like dragged, which is good. Like you fucked up, and this is good. But to come at me, I'm like, oh man. And first of all, David Oyelowo, when he did Martin Luther King, he raised money for that. He busted his ass it took him 7 years to make that. And he hired nothing but African Americans. He hired Common, right, who played Masavio's dad. Remember Masavio?
Yeah.
But Common played Masavio's father, who was with Dr. King. He hired a lot of African Americans. Now he has a platform called Mansa with Nate Parker, who's black American.
Yeah.
He's literally hiring and putting people to work. But I mean, we stand on.
Could he do more? Absolutely. Absolutely. With the position that he's been given in Hollywood, because of his Britishness, I'm just going to say it, you could absolutely do a lot more. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not privy to everything he's done, but it is what it is. Like, it's obviously not a passion of his. He was far more passionate when he was talking about the projects he was doing in Nigeria than anything he was doing on Mansa. And some people have been even critical of the stuff that's going on to Mansa. We could all do more. Obviously, nobody's perfect. But when there's some criticism levied at you, you can't be like, well, I'm this big humanitarian and I've done all this stuff for black Americans. Because like you wouldn't have to even ask the question. It would be very clear that is what you have done with your career and with your influence.
On the sideline, we do nothing, and then we criticize everything that black people do. But on the same sense, this is a white supremacy society that turns us against, because they do give these parts to black British actors.
Once again, Dante's right.
The same way, there's no way in the world they would have let Barack Obama run for the president if he was African American, because there's a class system that says that African Americans are at the bottom of the class system. They will not they need to hold us. When you talk about patriotic assimilation, part of patriotic assimilation is assimilating into the racism against African Americans.
They said just because you're gay, you don't have to sit gay.
Can't help it.
There you go.
Nah, not much better.
It's really funny. Them dumb folded legs. He does that little yoga move.
I'm gonna sit as gay as I can and still Jew, nigga.
But either way, like I said, I'm not like screaming, but I'm saying I'm okay being passionate like this, because Karen is trying to jump off on, because all the podcasting she was talking shit about,
now
she's trying to do the podcast move. Right, let me dog Godfrey, blah, blah. And when someone said apologize to Karen, I haven't talked to her in 6 years.
Here's the see, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Let's see what it
so
says.
sad.
They definitely need our culture. Fix the issues in Africa before you speak on anybody being divisive. That doesn't even make sense. Let me say, Prince West 60. Fix the issues in Africa. How do I do that? That doesn't even make sense.
They are lighting him up in them comments. Yeah, I think if I can make a suggestion, the 154 podcast, since it's going to be African-centered and it's going to have a guest from an African country, or I guess the children of African immigrants in America, can we make it about Africa? There's a lot of issues that are going on in Africa that are not spoken about in the public. But for some reason, this podcast always ends back around to Black Americans from the South. Their accent has some type of subservience in it. Or like, there's all types of other non-related, non-African things. And maybe it's just you all don't know what's going on in Africa. But this is when you pick up a newspaper. This is when you start doing research so you can talk about some of those issues and actually impact the continent that you hail from. Give us a break. Give Black Americans a break for 1 week.
Boy,
They never make
that
it.
don't make sense. That fix the issues in Africa. Are you either you're white or you're black, or you're just trying to be deflective, but that don't even fucking make sense. What do you think we're all trying to do? Everybody's trying to do something. So you're a boy for that. Eat a dick, yo.
Everybody's got it. Why you to the Franks thing?
I paid to see Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, it's all right. You wanted to see him do the Running Man?
Anyway, sounds like Godfrey's got a little soul searching to do to determine whether or not he is actually an ally to the Black Americans. He's always said he was. It takes more than just reading about the culture, but still putting your hands up in rebuke. If Black Americans said that they're foundational Black Americans, I don't see why anybody should have a problem with it. Unless, of course, that takes away something from you and you feel threatened by it. That's the biggest conversation that's happening out here. And I think it's coming to a head. And we're trying to see who is allies, who really wants to advocate for Black Americans in our struggles, and who just wants to profit off of Black Americans. That's the question we need to ask. That's the question going forward. Not necessarily is Godfrey profiting off the Black community, but purporting yourself to be some type of expert in the Black community and then not being there when we need you is still problematic. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. Oh, don't forget, hype the video. This is Faucette Media.